Hey guys, welcome back to the main Miata. This channel is all about car maintenance and modifications, car reviews, and anything automotive. So today we're going to be changing engine oil in my Miata. And so I'll be walking you through on how to change the oil on a Miata, but this process could be applied to any vehicle that you own. So some of the things you'll need before we get started is engine oil for your specific vehicle. And for the Miatas, it's 10W30, a oil pan and container. And I'm changing the oil filter today as well, so you need to make sure you get an oil filter if you're going to change it. So rubber gloves, and then underneath the car we'll be putting some cardboard underneath in case any oil spills. And then a 17mm socket to get the bolt off the oil pan. So the first step in changing the oil is to get the car off the ground. I've used some bricks and the floor jack to get it off the ground. And so now it's nice and stable and high off the ground that I can get under it and drain the oil. So it is so depend on whatever vehicle you're working on. Obviously with a Miata you're going to have to get it off the ground. But if you're talking about an SUV or a truck, I can crawl under my Xterra without even lifting it off the ground. So I could probably change that without having to jack it up. But just make sure you keep it steady and make sure it's not going to fall on you when you're underneath the car. So you want to make sure you take out this plug here in the top of your oil pan. And so now it'll drain down in there. Make sure this is shut and you have to have this open. So I'm going to put all the product links in the description below the video so you can find everything. So you'll just take this and set it here under the car. And right there you can see that's the plug we're going to be taking out, that bolt. And so we'll put the oil pan here beneath it. And then when you take that bolt out, the oil will just drain out into this pan. So right here is the bolt we're going to be taking out, and that's a 17mm diameter bolt. So we'll just take a wrench to it and unscrew that bolt, and the oil will come out. When you unscrew it, you want to make sure and hold pressure on that bolt so it doesn't leak oil everywhere. So now the oil is almost empty and it's just barely dripping out. So now what you want to do is take and clean off this bolt. So this bolt is covered in oil now. So I'll just take some shop towels and clean off the bolt. Wipe off the oil. You want to make sure that washer's still on it. And then I'll just take this cloth and wipe off here where it sits as well. After you get the bolt threaded in a little bit, it'll stop most of the leaking out. So now that the bolt's back on, it shouldn't leak anymore. And I will move the oil pan out so I can fully tighten the bolt. The next step will be to change the oil filter. Right there you can see the oil filter is right there. And so that should just be hand tight, and then we can unscrew it and drain the oil out of it and then screw the new one back in. And here's the brand new K&N oil filter. So I'll take and put a little bit of the new synthetic oil in it, and it'll be ready to go in the car. So I'll just crawl into the car and screw it on. So now that the old oil filter is out, we can install the new oil filter. The old oil filter didn't come out very easily, so I had to use a special wrench, and I'll put that link in the description as well. Now you can see the new oil filters installed, and it's time to refill the engine with oil. And it even has a spot specifically for draining the old oil filter, which you can see right there. So I just turned it upside down and let it drain. I'll clean out the top of this pan later, and we can store the oil until I have to go drain it. So a good tip is your local auto zone or auto parts stores will take the oil for free because they sell it to an oil refinery. You can make money off of it, so they'll happily take your old used motor oil. So there's the filler cap for the new oil. So we'll just take this cap off, and this is where we'll put in the new oil. So just clean off this cap because it's a bit oily and dirty. And then we can put it in the funnel and fill it up with new oil. So the Miatas take about 4 quarts of oil when you replace the filter. So we'll put 4 quarts of oil in and check the oil level. So I just stuck this funnel in here and I poured in the new oil until it said there was only 1 quart of oil left in this container. And so that means, since there's a 5 quart container to begin with, there's 4 quarts of oil in the engine. So now I can pull out this filter and watch it because it'll probably drip. Screw the cap back on. And then you always want to have your car level when you check the engine oil level. But what I'll do is I'll drop it back down on the ground and let it run for a couple minutes and then check the engine oil so that I make sure I have a good reading on the engine oil and make sure it says it's full and then it's not low. I started her right up and she's running and it sounds good. And so all that's left to do is check the oil and make sure the oil level looks good and then clean up from this project and we'll be done. Now you know how to change the oil on your 2005 Miata or any other vehicle. So I checked the engine oil level and everything looked good. And so we're good to go. Ready for next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with the newest videos. If you have any ideas for future videos, leave them in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. Until next time.